exciting, pal?
No, that's why I was asking you. I don't have a pow beginning. Batman, pow, smash, boom.
Same bat time, same bat channel,
Yeah.
just without
No,
the
it's same fish time, same fish channel. Come on,
right,
get
right, right,
get your
right.
get your themes here.
Although it should be like same metal time, same metal thing,
Oh,
same metal challenge, or a different metal challenge or something. We're like really energetic tonight. Like let's just go. Let's.
yes. Who? What are we talking about?
We're talking about our metal challenges that we do, and we've done so often that it becomes kind of I don't know, easy for us to just chat and we record it. So
Yeah, with our lame duck introductions and yeah. So fish,
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 fishy fish.
fish. Okay, because it's classic. What did the fish say when it ran to a wall?
Damn.
And there you swore again. Ha
That's not a swear.
ha.
That's not a swear.
Yeah, but if I had said it, you would have called me on it.
I 100% would have. So the joke is that I have sworn a couple times on this, and
A
I've actually
couple
had to bleep
times.
one. I've had to bleep one. But the funny thing is, Kipling one time said something in it, and the
A
not the translation,
fustrum. A
a
fustrum
fustrum.
was the word.
Yeah, and it came up as a swear in the transcript, which I immediately screenshotted and showed him, and so like technically he swore too, according
No,
to the
no, no, no.
transcript.
The computer thinks I swore just because it is not familiar with the word fustrum. That's not my fault. But
Uh, so you want to tell him about this month's challenge?
yes, it has to do with fish. Funnily
Clearly,
enough.
clearly.
Yeah, no, we are making a soap dish. That was the original plan, and then somebody, I believe it was you, had the great idea to say, okay, let's make it fish themed because everybody wants a fishy bar of soap. That seems what you want to wash your hands with. So,
Well, water, soap, fish. It seemed somewhat fitting. I don't know.
yeah, but
We
fish are
haven't done a
smelly
fish
and
thing.
slimy, and
Yeah.
not what I want to rub my hands on before I clean them. Like, let's.
Have you, by the way, have you ever seen those, like, I think it's a stainless steel bar that you're supposed to be able to wipe your hands in and it takes the odor away? They sell it to fishermen and, like, hunters for taking the odor off your hands. Don't know what I'm talking about?
No, as I am not a hunter nor a fisherman, I don't.
Okay, well, you gut fish and your hands smell like fish, and it's the oils that get into your pores and stuff like that that make your hand smell. So they sell this, I think it's stainless steel or some type of steel, and it's in the shape of a soap bar, and you like rub it all over your hands, and the metallurgy and the pores and the smell apparently do a thing. It's not like soap, it's just a metal thing. Anyway, there you go, fish soap dish. Put the fish smell bar in this.
Yeah, apparently I just Googled it because I wasn't sure you were not just making stuff up as you were going along, but yeah,
It's a
stainless steel
thing.
soap bar designed to neutralize pungent food odors or apparently fish stuff by rubbing the steel bar between your hands under cold running water for 30 to 40 seconds.
See, that's what we made this soap dish for.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly was the plan of something I had never heard of until just now. That sounds cool. I kind of want one now. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
I'll try it at your house. I'm not sure I need to try it at my own house, but unless it works, and then I'll just. I have lots of metal kicking around. I'll just rub my hands in metal, I guess. I don't know.
I think it needs to be stainless steel, and I wonder if it's because like you can get all sorts of different alloys that are
Yeah,
stainless. I'm wondering, like, I suspect it's a specific
I would suspect so
alloy.
too. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Uh,
but yeah, feel
so
free to just rub your hands on metal, see if that works.
I do it all the time. My hands smell like metal. So making these soap dishes out of metals, Kipling had a distinct advantage on me on this one in that most of your metals, I'm not saying
Is
all,
better than your metal? Yes, we know
no,
that
no,
my
no.
metal is better than your metal.
If you just took a piece of aluminum into the bathtub with you, nothing much happens. If you took a piece of copper or brass into the bathtub with you, you just have a wet piece of metal. You take a piece of steel into the bathtub with you, and you have a piece of rusty steel. Not that you're taking your soap dish in.
Absolutely.
So I realized this late in the challenge. Well, early in the challenge, but late in the like, let's make a soap dish.
Well, and
Oh,
as like the soap dish was completely your idea, no,
yeah.
you have no one to blame but yourself. This is not my fault.
No, not at all, not at all. So again, I was like, well, I can always use copper, which I have done, and like I'm not incompetent at using copper. Um, but for what I wanted to accomplish, if I'm playing at your game with copper, there's certain things that I can accomplish and certain things that I can't accomplish. I'm not great at the dishing and repoussé and all of that type of stuff. So, and the connection between them is, I'm not as great at soldering and stuff as you. So, I normally use copper as like a highlight as opposed to the whole thing.
The base metal, yep.
Yeah. So
Also,
that
you
was
don't have a lot of copper kicking around
no, I don't.
because
I
you
need
haven't
to.
been to my place for a while, so you haven't stolen any in a while.
That's exactly. I was going to say my store is a little further away. I have to come up and visit, and then make sure that you don't check my bags on the way out, and you're just a little lighter on your copper stock.
You know, just a little bit.
um,
So then, what was your solution?
well, my solution was figure it out at the end.
Oh, it's a good way to go. I have this great thing. I'm going to hope it's not going to rust.
Yeah, yeah. So I did. Actually took a page out of your book and decided that fish soap dish. I went with epoxy. So if I epoxy the bottom of it, then that seals the bottom of it. And it was I'd ordered the epoxy and made the things and da, and then I went, oh, but the sides are not going to be epoxied, and the bottom and the back and the what am I going to do about that? So I turned to my buddy Phil Swift here. I don't know. Have you ever seen the commercials for Flex Seal? No, you don't know what I'm
Vaguely,
talking.
but not recently enough to
He
pull them to mind.
he cuts a hole in the bottom of a boat, puts a screen in it, and then sprays it with Flex Seal, and the boat floats. So like it's you know. Anyway, that's what I went with. I went with a little Flex Seal around the outside, and it definitely feels like rubber on the outside of the steel. I have used one of these soap dishes for 2 days, and there's no visible rust. I was worried about where the epoxy meets the Flex Seal and everything. Um, I learned after the first one, because I've made multiple of these, if you Flex Seal the thing first and then pour the resin, then there's no gap between them. You don't have to worry
Yeah,
about.
no, that would make sense. Yeah.
So yeah, happy with the way they turned out. I feel like they're more trinket trays than soap dishes, but they definitely could be used as a
You
soap
could put
dish.
soap in them. Yep.
Yeah. So
How many did you end up making?
I made 4.
Okay.
So what I did to sort of explain the whole thing is I got a piece of box steel. I don't know, like 3.5.
So what's box steel versus
Or like square steel, like a tube.
okay,
Uh,
like a square tube.
Square
Okay.
bar, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
hollow,
hollow.
right? And like 3.5 by like 2.5 or something like that. 20 inches long, and I cut that so that I had the shape of a soap dish, and kept the end flaps and folded those up. So I ended up with small little boxes about half an inch deep, or 3/4 of an inch deep, maybe, and welded up the sides. And they actually came out really like and no one else can see it, but this side has folded up. It was in my stories and stuff, and I'm really happy with the way that the squares came out.
Yeah, they look clean and nice, and
hmm There's a lot of grinding on the inside on that, but again, doing 4 of
the
them, you kind of
epoxy
get
covered that.
yeah, the grinding on the inside, and I got better at it as I went along and everything. My original idea was a whale. I know we said fish, but my wife loves whales and sharks, and I was like, ooh, the whale tail coming out of the soap dish.
Yes.
That was what I originally went with. And I was like, that would be cool because the whale tail could be like a ring holder for you're washing your hands, you take your rings
Yeah.
off, put them on
Yeah,
the whale
you can
tail.
put your-
The problem with that actually was for the whale to fit, it didn't really work because it looked like a whale was in a trap, like in a box, just the size of the whale.
Yeah.
So
You needed to make the box whale shaped opposed to having a whale in the box.
yeah, so that didn't really work. But I did put little wavies on the side of it, so it looks
Oh
more
yeah, that
oceany
looks
and
nice.
stuff. So it's not horrible. I enjoy it's supposed to be a humpback whale, so I put like the little barnacles and stuff on his tail with
Yeah.
some weld spatter and stuff. First time purposely weld spattering something.
Well, it's actually I was talking with one of my cousins this weekend because I was telling you earlier that we were at the memorial for my uncle who passed away in February, and she was asking what I was up to, and I was telling her about this whole podcast competition thing. So I showed her your three options, and she chose the whale. She thought
Oh,
the
wow.
whale was pretty spot on. So
Well,
yeah,
that's two votes whale then. Yeah.
there you go.
I also made a trout, which I took paint markers to, and painted him. So he actually looks pretty fly. It's like a brook trout top down. And in
Going for the
the
fly fishing.
yeah, get that kind of that fly fishing. You're looking at a brook trout type thing. Put some blue glitter in the epoxy on that one. I think
Nice.
it's pretty cool. The colors definitely pop, and the epoxy works really well for it. But as I was making these boxes and looking at fish, I instantly was like, box fish in a box. It's sardines. Like thinking about like the sardines being in the box, and then the soap is on top, and you want
You
raised
do realize you missed a perfect opportunity that instead of doing sardines, you should have done kippers.
kipper.
Kippers.
I don't know
Have you
what kippers are.
never?
Never heard of kippers.
They're essentially like sardines, but they're a different fish, but they're called kippers. How do
Oh,
you know this?
I've never heard of a kipper.
I think
No.
it's more of a British thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would
Um,
have voted for your kippers. Come on.
well, these are kippers then. Do you know what a kipper looks like? But what I did was, instead of bending them up square, I left one end really long and actually scrolled it as I was forging them up, which makes it look like you've rolled the lid up, which
I
I
was gonna
think,
say you need the little T piece in the side there to.
yeah. And then the fish down at the bottom. Now I was a little silly with this one. I originally planned to just have the fish out in the open, and they would
Yeah.
kind of add the ridges that your soap wouldn't.
So it doesn't stick to the
Yeah.
to
But and
the
it was
dish.
just flex sealed, and then I was looking at it and I was going, those are just gonna scratch. Like the flex seal is kind of, I don't know. I was like, as soon as it scratches, it's gonna rust. So I went with epoxy on those two, but just a clear
You know
epoxy.
what you should have done? Jumping back to the whale idea. So you take that little T piece, you make that, and you epoxy and sort of sticking upwards, and there's your ring holder.
Yep. 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 Coulda, shoulda, woulda. But anyway,
That's going to lose it for you right there.
yeah.
No ring
So
holder.
I did put all of these up on Instagram on my own stories, and people voted on what their favorite was, because if they're not going to vote for it on my stories, why would they vote for it on our stories? So the popular vote is the sardines. So you will be up against the sardines. The whale will stay at home, and the other fish will go to a market. This little piggy went
There we
home, and
go.
this little piggy went to market. So
Fishy went
fishy,
to market,
yes,
and this little fishy had roast beast
yes. But
because
anyway, that's enough about
rivers.
mine, because yours is pretty fly too.
I'm happy with mine. I've got mixed feelings about mine. I will
Okay.
fully admit. So I got excited because, again, I'm like, all right, I got copper. We can play with copper. It's underwater. So I made it's almost like seashell scalloped back, all out of copper.
Uh huh.
And then I made a dish, like a flat place that was dished in to hold the soap that would join right into it. So it ended up being like almost like a bookend looking thing, like it had a vertical side and a horizontal side.
Hmm.
And then I used some ammonia and vinegar, and I forced a dark blue patina splattered around on the back, so it's got some, it's not solid blue, but it's got some patchiness. And then I took some copper and cut it into a seaweed. Well, actually, I didn't cut it because I already had it from a previous thing that I'd done, but I'd made some copper seaweed that I hadn't used in something. And then I was looking around at how to push a different patina, and I grabbed some Miracle Grow, and you mix it with a little bit of water, and you put that on, let it dry, let it dry in the sun, and do that a couple of times, and you get more of a bluey green. So I got
Mm.
that one patinaed up, and it was really cool. And I put it all together, and then again, I was going to epoxy it back with some fish because I made some little fish, and I chased them all out to make them actually look like fish. and then I flame painted them so that they had like the blue heads and some rainbow scales on them, like all rainbow fish style.
I feel like this is going somewhere. Like, I
Oh
did
yeah,
all this
yeah, yeah.
stuff, and
And they were really, really cool. And then I'm like, okay, I'll pour the epoxy in. And then my thought was, well, I don't want to just pour in clear epoxy because I want a little bit, like, because it's underwater.
yeah.
And I put too much coloring into like mica powder into the epoxy, but you can't tell until you pour it.
Uh,
And you really can't see much of the detail that I put in. It still looks cool, but it covered up a lot of that, all that extra work that I did, which is too bad. And then I was showing it to my mother-in-law, and she's like, "Oh, like, well, can you shine some light up through the bottom because it's epoxy?" I'm like, no, not really, because the way I built it, not particularly. But then I'm like, okay, well, maybe she's got a point. So I ground all the copper off of the bottom,
oh,
and
really?
then I drilled some holes into it, and I've inserted some lights so that there's light that shines up through the epoxy, and so it lights up the inside, so you can see the light. You still don't get all of the details, but you get some neat little light patternings, and it looks really cool. And not only will it work now as your soap dish, but it would also be like your bathroom nightlight, if you wanted. So
Fancy.
it turned out pretty cool. I am pretty happy with how it turned out. Um, I did chase in those little ridges and bumps in the soap dish part so that like your soap won't like stick to it, unlike yours. Um, and then like I antiqued it up with copper black and stuff like that. So I'm happy with it. I'm just disappointed in myself that I put too much coloring in and didn't realize it. If I was to do it again, definitely, I still might put a little bit color in, but I would be like just a teensy bit.
I'm surprised that you went to put the lights in afterwards. I knew you had lights in it, but I didn't know that was an afterthought to the
Complete
epoxy that
afterthought.
you
It wasn't
poured.
going in originally.
Which actually
um,
might have saved you too, because had you actually tried to drill holes and pour epoxy, it might have gone through the holes and
yeah, no, I know, and like never having drilled epoxy or like there definitely some kind of like
yep.
I googled some like what should I do to do this, and actually because there's some copper that's embedded in the like in the middle of the epoxy, so I had to drill in through the epoxies and then through the copper layer,
Oh.
without like yeah there's some little bit of what is this? But
Hmm.
yeah, it turned out really, really. I'm happy with it. It looks fun.
Is it
It's
battery or
very
USB
sorry.
or is it battery or USB?
They are battery. I couldn't find the right kind of. I would love to have found a corded one that you could plug into the wall.
Hmm.
So they are battery, but it's
That'll be
definitely like cottage hunt camp chic.
yeah.
Is my piece. This is not going into your high rise condo, ultra modern apartment. Mesh with the
You never know.
decor, but
Maybe someone has a chic country chic bathroom.
yeah, no, it's definitely hunt camp. I'm
So,
not I'm not sure. It might come to the markets. It might actually just go up to our cottage because it'll sit there nicely.
funny enough, my parents redid their bathroom about I don't know 5 6 years ago, and they put a mural on the wall, like a picture mural thing. So
Yep.
they redid it kind of nicer and whatever, um, and they put this mural on the wall of a forest, so that my dad could go pee in the woods. So, maybe he needs to go in that
Well, yeah,
bathroom
if your parents are looking for a fish soap dish that
with a
you
nightlight.
know that's not sardines, and
Yeah,
I happen
yeah.
to have one.
There you go. There you go.
But
So,
it's interesting. It was a fun project. Like I enjoyed making it. It was slightly different build style than I normally do.
mhm.
So uh,
'Cause, 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 looking at my sardines, looking at yours, you feeling strong one way or the other?
Your sardines are really cool. They are not what you would expect. So they're a little off to left field, and I think I really like that. So I wouldn't call mine a slam dunk in any way, shape, or form. I think we're pretty even matched on this. It could go either way.
I think mine's quirky and like
Yours is definitely quirky.
teehee. I think yours, the features of yours, can put it over the top. Like, it's the look of it, and the like. Mine isn't going to go in anybody's high rise apartment anyway.
No,
Um,
yours is also cottage uncan chic.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%, right? So I'm not going to
Mind
win
you,
anybody in that.
as soon as we fish themed it, it was
Yeah, yeah. Um, so anyway, neither of them are going to appeal to like a higher end clientele anyway. But I think yours has more features. Like it's a nightlight. The soap thing would actually work. Like there's a whole bunch of those things. So
there's some features that, although there are some high end hunters and fishers that do that. Like they have their hunt camps and their so you never know. You
yeah,
never know. But yeah, I think we're pretty close on this. It just depends on the direction you feel you're going. Here's a question though. Does your video slash photo, I think it should have to have soap on it.
what? If there's soap on it, then it's covering my fish.
Well, then you should have well, again, because part of it'll be a video. So part of the video is you can show it without the soap, but then putting the soap because it's a soap dish.
What?
What?
Okay,
What's
okay,
wrong with
okay, 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 okay. Just so everybody's very clear on this. Kipling's base, yeah, it has some raised bumpy bits, but his fish are like bookended on the end, like bookshelf ended.
that?
Okay, so
Yeah.
put the soap in it, it doesn't hide his fish, and it like nice lights and like light show, pew 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 pew. Put soap on mine, and it covers the entire thing. Then it's just this big metal lump on your thing. Yeah, which one are
But
you gonna vote for? Yeah, what?
this is
Why
why
don't
I'm
you just
saying
handcuff me a little bit more there, buddy?
it's a
Let's just use some
video.
steel and
You
cover it up
can
with soap.
show the video with it
Hmm.
no soap, put a piece of
Hmm.
soap in it, and
Hmm.
then take the soap off. So
He
you can
really,
see that
really
it's
wants this win, people. Really wants the win.
no, I just wanted to show that it's a soap dish. It's like the candy dish that we didn't even put candy in it.
Uh, he's just really begging for the win. You got to win last time. I don't know why you
I got to win
need.
a couple times, man. As you were saying, you have won once in 2026.
Yeah, I'm not
One
doing well in
win.
2026.
The sad part
2025
about
was
that
good
is
for me.
even though you have only won once in 2026, you're still winning overall. Like
I know.
that's
I know. I had a really good 2025. 2026 has not been my thing. And I'm
not
not
so
feeling
far.
strongly about this one either, where I'm like, oh, I got you on the ropes. So
But do you think you can take it, or do you think are we neck and neck? Like
I hope it's close. I really do. I think that I'll get some votes just in like that where people were voting on the three of them sort of thing. I think if it was just the trout, you would smear me. Um, the sardines are enough people kind of voted on them on my thing that I'm like, yeah, I'll get some votes, but I don't think I'm gonna get enough to give you a run for your money.
oh, so you don't think you'll take it?
No, no. I think
Ah,
I think I'll take again normally what happens is we put it on Brothers and Smithing. So just
yeah.
so everybody knows, we put it on different stories and on TikTok now. But it traditionally was on my Instagram, and I would win on my Instagram because people are following me for my style, my whatever, right? Typically blacksmiths following each other because why would we follow anybody else? And then and then Kipling has it on his Tapley Tinsmith Instagram, and people following him for his metal work, excuse me, and his art style and everything. So he typically gets more votes on his. So we both normally are winning on each of our separate stories, and that sometimes evens itself out. But sometimes it's really ugly because I won't get any votes for my own on mine, and then it's
Yeah.
bad.
And now it hurts when you're like, but
I don't mind getting skunked on your channel or on your Instagram, but when I get skunked on my own, you're like, "Ooh, what did I do wrong?" Or what did you do right? So we have been trying to push people to Brothers in Smithing and voting because then that's what this is about. That's what this challenge is.
yeah,
So
try to keep it in the middle there, and yeah, and check out TikTok. That's another one that again, like I'm posting all of our build videos that we put up on Instagram. They end up on TikTok, and that seems to be a bit more of a neutral space as well, which is
yeah,
nice. So
so yeah, that's kind of where we're headed. Is if you if you do feel strongly one way or the other, then please vote.
please vote.
If you don't feel strongly, just pick one. We want the vote.
And we're going to post on May, did we say 27th? Is that what we did? No,
28th, the third.
28th. So
Yeah.
May 28th, we're going to post it. So do check out Brothers and Smithing on Instagram or Brothers and Smithing on TikTok. Alternatively, you can also check out Deer Run Forge, which is Andrew, or Tapley Tinsmith, which is myself. And comment or vote just because you can.
Yep.
And it's fun, and we enjoy people interacting with their stuff. Say what you like. Say, why did you choose, the sardines over the bookended fish? Mine looks like when you look at just the soapfish part, it looks like a football because it looks like the lacing on the football.
It does. You had originally said you were going to do a fish skeleton in the bottom, and I was like, "Ooh, that would be really cool." And then you're like, "No one wants this dead fish in their soap." And then I
It was
conveniently made a bunch of dead fish in a soap. So
yeah. I did. It stayed up there for a while, but no, ended up going this way.
interesting. And you went with like a fish skeleton theme anyway. You didn't just go for like parallel lines or anything. You went with like it looks kind of like a fish rib cage or the laces on a football.
Yeah, it does a little bit, but I mean, I get like I've seen a lot of soap dishes that have that pattern in the bottom again to keep the
Yeah.
soap not like binding to it,
Yeah.
and it was fair. It's a fairly easy braising technique to do. Like it's not doesn't have to be, you know, really cleaned up and precise. So yeah, no, I'm happy with the dish. It turned out really really well. I used
Yeah.
that stump that you ground down for me into the different hollows that I could use.
Nice. Had originally one of my other original ideas, just to get completely off topic here, or on topic, whatever, was to make a flounder, right? Like the shape of a
Oh
flounder,
yeah,
and just completely dish the flounder out of copper. And then I was like, that's a lot of copper. And what if I mess this up? And like, who really knows what a flounder is? And do you really want like a dinner plate sized fish flounder on your, like, who wants that? So,
yeah, and again, it's a it is a niche market anyways. But if you're starting to do specific species of fish,
yeah.
then it gets yeah really really niche. Like originally, like the little fish that I have that are floating in the epoxy in the back. My original idea is like I want to make gar,
Mm,
but one they're small, which is harder to do that, and then two I'm like okay, so now like four people will know what they are.
yeah. Yep. You went with generic fish.
They're fairly generic fish. Yeah.
Um,
But they turned out quite well. Like the scaling on them, I'm quite happy with my little mini fish.
do you hear about the two fish in a tank? Two fish sitting in a tank, right? One looks at the other one and goes, "You know how to drive this thing?"
Ba-dum-bum. Nice.
Yep.
And of course, the absolute classic. What do you call a fish with no eyes?
What do you call a fish with three eyes?
Fish.
There you go.
There.
Yep.
Our classic bad jokes. Yeah.
If you know any more fish jokes, let me know. Let me know. Minnow? Let
Oh,
me know. Okay.
bro.
Yep. Actually, funny enough, me and Kipling did a musical fish program. So we, like, these are just pulling from all of those fish
Yeah.
jokes. You know. Yep.
Yeah. You know what I found out the other like again, well, I went to the memorial service for my uncle and a lot of my father's side of the family was there. I was my father's brother.
Yeah.
And I a lot of the family I don't see a lot, so it was good to see them. But I was chatting with one of them, and Candy, actually the woman who liked your whale, and she turned to me. She's like, "So, what do you think of the recording your dad made?" I'm like, "What?" My dad cut a record, apparently, that I have
Oh,
had no clue about. It's a piano record, and like it's actually like a record, like the vinyl. Um,
yeah.
and oddly enough, like so, because my dad was sitting across the table, my dad's a talker. He tells all sorts of stories, and was relatively quiet about the whole thing. So I'm kind of confused. So I'm like, I want to find this record now, like, because she was asking if I had the record. I'm like, no, I've never even heard of this. Like, uh,
Hmm.
but so now I'm in search of my dad
Your dad's
cut a
record.
record, which is awesome. And it's even more awesome because my father's name is Glenn Campbell. And if you are a certain age, Glenn Campbell, not my father, was a famous musician who did a lot of music, and I did a lot of country music and stuff like that. Um, so there are a lot of Glenn Campbell records out there, but that Glenn
Hmm.
Campbell only has one N in Glenn, opposed to my father's just the two N Glenn. And apparently there's only
One of
one
those.
record that I've heard of. Maybe my father had a full recording career before,
Maybe.
who
I
knows?
I plan to actually record some of the Maple songs in the fall to be able to put them up in Spotify. So when that happens, we could like introduce title stuff of like, have our own background Spotify playlist of
You got to
ourselves.
find a place that you can actually put it onto some vinyl. That'd be awesome.
That would be wicked, eh? Maple syrup, maple stick in your head. Yeah.
There you go. And then you can paint the record gold and pretend you have like a platinum.
And I'll just leave it black. My record went black. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, so we're gonna post on the 28th. Do vote. Because yeah, it makes it more fun for us. It's all about making it fun for us, right?
That's what this is about.
It
No
is.
monetary kickbacks, no whatever. We don't just
No, it'd be nice if there was some monetary kickback. I
right.
would
Can you imagine? Can you imagine like
appreciate that. The
yeah.
monetary kickback comes if these objects come to the market and they sell, then there's a monetary kickback.
Or alternatively, if you really want to help us out, you could just spread this podcast around, and it might once we get like a billion listeners from our
Yes,
few that we have.
that's just
And
right around the corner, a billion, isn't it? Like
yeah,
right around the corner.
yeah, we'll make
Yeah.
33 cents once we have a billion. So
Woohoo! Rolling in the cash. All right.
uh, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. No,
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 go
no.
ahead.
You
Go ahead.
you. I said ah before I did, so I am going to match
I
your
was going
ah.
to ask you about your libation today.
I am having a Consero Appassimento da Uve Selezionate, which is a Italian wine. It's
Mm,
red wine. My
nice.
father-in-law brought it over, and we drank a little bit of it, and he left the rest of the bottle. So I'm just finishing it off tonight. It's quite nice.
Nice. I have myself some Nickelbrook Headstock, which is a West Coast style IPA. It's not bad.
Nice.
Not my favorite Nickelbrook, but their IPAs aren't too hoppy, so or this one isn't. So
I'm a part-time supply teacher in addition to being a stay-at-home father, and I was covering a construction tech high school class. And as a supply teacher, you don't generally do much. You hit play on a lot of videos. So in this case, we brought up YouTube, and the students had to watch a 7-minute video of a guy polishing the headstock of a what was it? It wasn't a Fender. I can't remember the guitar type. He was talking about other stuff and wood grains and stuff like that, but the entire
yeah,
video was the actual polishing of this headstock.
interesting.
There's my headstock story, and it's not an interesting story, but there's my connection to headstock of late.
The can has a guitar headstock on it.
I
That's my
saw that
connection.
on.
Yeah. Was it that one?
So it was a Les Paul. That's what it was. Sorry,
Ah, yes, yeah, yeah.
it was a
There
Les
you go.
Paul.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I'm like, I knew it. It's well known. I'm like, come on, but it
There
is
you go.
late-ish at night on Sunday, and my brain cells aren't The hamster's only running with 3 legs right now.
Fair enough. As long as he's
All
still
right,
running.
it's still running. Eggel time for you, or at least any language that you could speak aside from English.
Ooh. um.
And why? Why would you choose that language?
Hmm.
I'll even expand it because I don't think you speak a second language.
I
So
do
a
not.
language that
No.
you don't speak.
Um. Right off the bat, I would go with sign language. I think I think it would be really
No, no,
cool to
no.
learn American Sign Language and be able to communicate with people who were
Use
hard of
sign
hearing,
language.
and yeah, and that'd be cool.
That's right. I don't know why it jumped to my mind. I figured that you would say French because of the Matrix. Swearing in French is like it's like wiping your ass with silk.
That would be a good. I didn't. Yeah, that would be a good one. Nope, that wasn't it. Yeah, no, I think that.
And
Uh,
just FYI, I did drop the A word there, so there's one for me.
oh, there is the first one. Oh,
There
guys, we
is
needed to.
little
It would
firework.
have totally gone by me if you didn't say anything.
I
Yeah,
did, I know, but you would have caught it on the
on the
on the
transcript. Yeah,
editing. So you do
yeah.
all the editing for us, which I am superbly thankful for that I don't have to edit these. So I appreciate your editing prowess, and you would have caught it there. So I figure I'll fess up to it. Number one for me.
So, personal opinion, do you think I bleeped that one or not?
I'm okay with you not bleeping it. Like that was
Okay.
a quote. It was a quote from
Yeah.
Matrix, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay.
again,
I'll
also
leave
you
it.
have to be of a certain age now to have seen Matrix. Apparently, doesn't happen.
Yep. All right. So, what language would you go with then?
It's a hard, practically, like for practicality, Mandarin
Mm.
makes most sense, right? But the ability to speak Klingon would be awesome.
Klingon.
Like,
I think practicality. I would probably go Spanish because then I could travel to a lot of Latin
and
America
that
and
covers a
like
lot of things too.
it
Yeah.
covers a lot of countries a lot. I don't like traveling to a place I can't communicate with people. It stresses me out just traveling anyway, and if I don't know the language, it stresses me out even more. So like, there's a lot of cool places to travel that speak
Actually,
Spanish.
it opens up a lot of really great places. And yeah,
Yeah.
I also speak French, so between French and English, and then if you threw Spanish, and or Mandarin in there, you cover a lot. But the
Yeah.
other one, just for my roots wise, would be Gaelic. I would like to learn some Gaelic.
Mm.
I started looking at that on Duolingo, but spellings are so weird. Like Duolingo doesn't do it. At least I wasn't finding it was doing a good job of like breaking down the spelling and the phonetic for that.
Mm.
Although I can say Kimera Hau in Gaelic, which means come get some.
Have you seen the reels of the guy who's trying to teach him? He's teaching himself how to speak Newfoundlander.
No.
Oh, it's good. It's good. He's like, he's like, okay, so how would you say, like, how would you say good day? Or like, how are you doing today? And they're trying to like piece it together and stuff. And no, where are you at, boy? Where are you at, boy? Like, what do you talk? And like, it just gets harder and harder. And like, you know, how do you say, all these things? And then it's like, okay, how do you put the whole sentence together? And it just changes altogether. It's great. It's great. So.
No, I have not. Are you? Do you
I'll
know
send you next
who?
time. No, next time I see one, I'll send it across. Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
who it
okay.
is. Yeah.
So we can't give them a boost on our podcast here if you don't know them.
No, no.
Oh, but there you go. So that was my eggel.
Okay. My shop woe wonder today actually is a long time woe and a long time wonder. Is the greatness and horrors of Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. Hi, my name is Andrew, and I'm slightly addicted to Facebook Marketplace. Uh, uh, I do check it far too often, and I find that more often than not, the good deals are hard to find, and then bottom line of my whole story here is my my bandsaw was giving up. I had a lot of issues with it, and I've been playing with it for the last year. I think the top bearing is going in it, and that's far beyond me to repair. And the blade wasn't cutting straight. You increase the tension, and then the saw wouldn't run because there's too much tension on the blade. I did all the other things except for replace the bearings. It's an old saw. They don't sell replacement pieces for it. It's time to go. I stopped using it for a month, and then of course I'm like, I don't use it that often. I don't need one. And then I find with this stack of wood sitting on the bandsaw that I need to cut somehow. So I was taking it to work to cut it and it's just like, this is dumb. So I try to find one on Marketplace, and they either are super cheap and no one answers the thing because everybody's trying to buy the very, very cheap one, and it's probably about the same as mine, or it's a really expensive one, and there's no middle ground in them.
Yeah.
So anyway, I eventually found one. It took me a while. Bought it from the guy. It's $500 brand new. He bought it last year, and offered it for $300. Nobody wanted to buy it. I bought it for him for $200, and he was like, "Yeah, everybody else is just offering me $50 for this thing, and it's literally still has price tags and stuff on it, right? Like data manufacturer is 2025." Anyway, so I'm like this is a steal of a deal. It's 60% off. This is awesome.
Yeah, no,
So
that's great.
got it back. Actually did things on the bandsaw I've never done before. I resawed a board, which means splitting it this way. I've never done that on a bandsaw because I haven't had a fence on it before. Anyway, fairly happy with the new bandsaw. But now this means I have my old bandsaw. So now I've gone through the heartache and pain of buying one, okay, which is hard enough. Now I'm going through the heartache and pain of trying to get rid of this other one, which I'm like, it still works, but it's not a great bandsaw. So just come and get it, really, is what I'm going with here, right? I've put it up for $40. And people are still like, I'll give you 20 for it. And you're like, if you just come and get the damn thing and gave me $20, you would take it. I'm not helping you for $20, but take the damn thing away from me, sort of thing. And then there's people that are like, anything wrong with it? And you're like, what do you think? It's a $40 saw. It's not a top. It came over. Noah used it to build the ark, right? I'm pretty sure that this is my grandfather's saw. They'd no longer make this saw. Anyway, it's the woes and troubles of Facebook, of Marketplace, trying to buy and sell things. Sometimes it's great. About once a year, I think I steal something from somebody, and you're like, woohoo! And then
Which keeps the habit going.
Which keeps the habit going. And then about once a year, you come home with something, and you go, that's not what I wanted. Why did I buy this? It looks so good online, Yeah. Anyway, you've benefited from my addiction.
I was going to say, I appreciate your obsession with Marketplace because I never check it, but I, 2 or 3 times a year, I get a text from you that says, "Hey, do you want this on from Marketplace?" I'm like, yeah, yes, I do.
Check out these tinsmithing tools.
You still have my burner, which you didn't drop off when you were supposed to.
I know. Oh. You still have the trophy too, so that's...
I still have the trophy. Well, maybe I'll have to attach something if I lose this one. So... But yeah, actually, my wife is used to be actually addicted to Facebook Marketplace. I think she's cut back on that, but I used to get sent out fairly regularly to go pick up random things. So I understand, but I don't have that obsession. I appreciate that you do. I think it's benefiting me greatly for you to have that obsession.
Yeah.
So,
hey, when somebody puts an anvil up for $100,
I know.
My phone goes bing, and talk to the staff at work. I'm like, I'm taking the afternoon. I'll see you in a bit.
I will go get that. But no. And again, you keep an eye out for steaks for me and all sorts of random things. So I appreciate.
Or you let me know you need a new burner for your smelter, and we found a new burner that I think should work.
It
hopefully.
should work, and it's got the regulator on it, which is fantastic. So looking forward to getting that, so I can do some do some more efficient forging than what I've been doing. So
Yep.
here we go. So this is not an eggel. You know, it's not an Andrew asks because it's Kipling, but I don't have the alliteration.
Okay.
What is the most useful skill that you picked up from blacksmithing? What is like the one thing that this is, that's your metal. What is it?
P.S. I think it's called a Kipling question. I know it's not illiterate, but
Oh,
it,
okay, yeah, no, no, yep, yep, yep.
yeah.
You got the
Okay. Most
a
useful
quickling
skill,
question.
a Kipling question, is coming up with great alliteration for our.
You know, because it's
um,
important to have alliteration in the podcast. You know,
no, I think that it's helped me. Uh, I don't know how to phrase this. In like understanding uh, what's possible, if that makes sense. Like so, when we started, I had all these dreams of being able to build things, right? And like you're like, oh, this would be like again, like a soap, a fish soap dish. There's a lot of things that I could be like, ooh, this is a cool fish dish, soap fish soap.
fish dish.
Oh my goodness. Um, but originally, I would have thought that these are cool ideas and tried to build them and failed miserably at it, if that makes any sense. And then
Yeah.
now I know, okay, this is what I'm able to do. I want to learn something like and adding to it. And like, okay, I'm going to push. I haven't done epoxy yet. I'm going to push. I'm making 4. So if I mess one up, I still have 3. Like, you know what I mean? Like learning my limits, but also learning to sort of push them, I guess is what I'm from the challenges. That's what I get. But from blacksmithing, it's I'm getting really good at drawing something that I can make and being able to make what I've drawn. Like if
So
you look at
that would you say that's that's the best skill that you've picked up out of all of this?
uh oh,
I know.
I'm not bad at welding now. So like I think that if I never blacksmithed again, I think I would end up welding things in my personal life. Like there's things that I need welded. And I look back 10 years ago, even at work, and I'm like, why did I pay somebody else to weld that? That's so stupid. I could weld that in 5 minutes. And like I look at those type of things now and go, well, that's dumb. Why would I get somebody else to do that? That's an Andrew job. I can, so that's a very useful skill in just my everyday type of thing, both at work and other stuff, and being able to weld and something sticks together. I've there's a propane, so 100-pound propane cylinders run the kitchen at our camp. Both the hot water, on-demand hot water, and the stoves are a propane. So we go through 100-pound propane cylinders. Don't have to change them as often, but they're really heavy to lug around. And it's easy enough to roll them onto and off of the trailers because they'll roll right on their bottoms, and you just kind of.
Yeah.
But picking them up anymore once they're full is too much for my dad and my uncle. So
Yeah.
we basically designed like a wheelbarrow type trailer that the top the thing hinges, so you wheel them on like a dolly cart, and then you push it down, it locks in, and it lays the propane down on a trailer so you can drive them up the hill on a ATV and get to the camp and then unload them. So you never have to pick up the
Yeah.
propane cart. And they had the idea and the measurements and the steel, and we cut and welded and bent stuff, and the thing's been working for a couple years. And I go, that exists because I'm able to weld. That's pretty cool, So those practical skills, I could build that in wood, and 10 years ago I would have had to build that in wood and like screw things together, which wouldn't be as solid and everything. So they would look at me and go, "Hey, help us build this. We need this bent like this. We need to do this like this." Those are practical skills that I now have. But personally, being able to look at that project and go, yeah, I can do that. Or look at the project and go, that's beyond me. I don't, trailer and towing straight. And that's a little beyond me at this point, so let's use this trailer that we already have and put this thing on top
And
of it, like knowing where my limits are and being able to sketch that up and make that a real thing is the practical thing that I've gained from this.
yeah, I would really agree with that. The ability to sit, especially with metal.
Yeah.
Again, I use different metals than you, but go. I need, I need this, or this needs to be fixed, and I can do that now. I can take this. I can make a bracket if I need to. Like this was a couple years ago, but I was what was that? I was making eclairs, because my wife wanted to make eclairs. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
and you needed a piping, um, I guess I don't know, that was a 1 inch in diameter. I actually went into town. And I'm like, and I went into Bulk Barn where you can get a lot of the icing bits and stuff like that, and they were sold out. And then my brain, I'm like, well, okay, it's just a cylinder out of metal. I could do that.
Yep.
I can take the measurements and I can make a cone, and I know how to make a fustrum. There's my word again. So late night, now it'll say I sworn again for you. Um, but yeah, that ability to look at things and go, hey, it needs to be made of metal, and I actually can work, and I know how to work it, and I know how to bend it, and how to attach it and bind it. Yeah, it's invaluable. It really is.
And I found that you even came up tinsmithing a couple years ago, the first time you demonstrated at my place of work, and I literally just gave you things and was like, fix this, and like there was a copper tea kettle and a tin bread drawer, and I forget what else I didn't hand you that day, but like,
Yeah, and
and
it's
you
just like,
just were able to fold stuff, look at it, and go, yep, I got this, and
okay, we
solder this
can do
back
this
together,
now.
and yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Who else
that
can do
set of
that?
skills.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Granted,
it's
some of the artistic stuff I'm also impressed about now. Like I'm like, I didn't go, like, ever since I was a kid. No one would have gone to, yeah, fine arts. That's you. Like, no,
yeah, yeah,
I did music. I've done drama. Yeah, yeah. Even like the work both of us have done in parts. Lots of public speaking, lots of stuff like that. But fine art,
yeah.
no, never in a million years. But now I kind of look at some of the things that I can chase, and I'm like, well, I am never going to be a famous artist, but I'm like, hey, that actually looks pretty good.
And I would actually say that about yourself is you've learned to embrace your artistic style, and what I've seen this year in 2026 is the more you embrace your style and be comfortable with it and everything, the better you're doing in challenges where you're like, no, I can, like, before it was almost like you didn't trust yourself to do that, where you were like, oh, I'm just going to make whatever I think people are going to like. Um, is kind of how I felt about it, or you're like, oh, I'll just make it up as I go type of thing. Whereas like the stuff that you're like, this is my vision and this is what I'm going to make because I like this, that's the stuff that does really well.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't disagree with you. Yeah, I will sink more into the artistic. This is what I'd like to make. Yeah, I can do that. It turns out okay. It turns out, and then I cover it with an epoxy that has too much color and you can't see it.
Hey, we all make mistakes. I'll just
I
capitalize on this next challenge.
There you go. There you go. No, I don't know. Come on, this is my trifecta. So or my hat trick, depending on how do you want a hockey metaphor? Do you want a betting metaphor?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I still got you by one, so I'm not shaking in my booties yet. But
Oh no, 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 no. I'm still catching up. But again, the end of 2025, you were rocking it, and it was
yeah,
feeling a little harsh for me. I'm like, man, I just can't. Yeah, great. You were producing great stuff, and I just couldn't quite keep up. But
yep,
mm, before we end tonight,
yep.
next challenge. This is a
Ooh,
big one for
oh
us.
yes.
This is
Yes.
huge for us, and we'll have a lot of discussion about it next month. But we are doing a boat for a boat race challenge,
No,
and
no. That's the
oh no,
summer.
it's Pride. That's
This
one
is
after. I skipped one.
okay.
Yeah, Pride is very important too. Like it's a big one as well. But yeah, so oh yeah, sorry, yeah. I'm letting the
You
cat out of the
skipped one.
bag for the one afterwards now.
You skipped one. Okay, so our next challenge.
Is Pride,
Yeah.
and I came up with an idea.
Oh, you have an idea
I
now?
I have an idea.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's going to work. You gotta love those ideas. The
Yeah, that's where
I'm
I'm
gonna
at
have
with
to make
mine
a
too.
tool,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm looking forward to that. And I think if it works out, it'll look really, really cool.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know if I have time to do mine. That's my problem. Is it's really busy these days. Between baseball tournaments and like, there's one night a week that I don't have baseball, and then practice on both weekend days. So there's literally out of 7 days, I have one night that I don't have baseball. And the weekends that I'm not working, I have baseball tournaments, which
Yeah,
means that I work the other weekend. So I'm looking at month of May going, or June going, I don't have a lot of days to do this. And it's pretty much, I'm going to have to like forge everything really efficiently. And I don't have a lot of wiggle room for error. I don't know how I'm going to do it if I do that. If I had a
yeah.
plasma cutter here, I could probably do what
Do
I
you,
want
oh,
to
you have
do.
a plasma cutter there now?
No. If I did have one,
Oh, yeah,
it would be much easier to cut the shapes out that I wanted, and then add the forged texture to them. As it is, I think I'm going to have to forge the shapes that I want, which is not going to give me a lot of time to do it or mess up. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is like, I have a really good idea and I really want to do it, but I don't know how I'm going to do it.
yeah. Mine's more of like I've got an interesting concept. There is some connection issues that are going to be the problem. How do I make clean connections that you know won't take away from the idea?
Mm,
But
cool. Well, if you want to see any of this stuff too, both our stories in Deer Run Forge and Tapley Tinsmith or Brothers in Smithing, all of those things on Instagram and TikTok, we will show you our builds, our
yeah,
troubles and woes, and make fun of each other and continue along. So follow along, vote for our stuff. Tell us what you think, what you like. The fish are going to go out on May 28th. And yeah.
yeah. Please cast your vote, and fingers crossed. I'll get my trifecta. I don't
We'll
know.
see.
It's the last couple I've felt fairly confident. You've produced really good stuff, but I was like super happy with what I've made.
Yeah.
This one, I'm very happy with what I've made, but I think I think we got a good neck and neck one going this time.
This
So
this I hope for a good neck and neck. That would be not necking. But a good. I hope it's
nice
close,
close.
and yeah, I hope it's nice and close. Either way, I'd be okay. I'd be okay with either win, you winning or me winning, as long as it's close. That's where I want to be.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be nice. All right, until next time. Good to chat with you, sir.
Good luck, and we'll see you next time.
Good luck and good night.
Okay, Walter Cronkite, and that's how the cookie crumbles.